Welcome to the Dave Pamah Show, the podcast that revives, restores, and awakens your innermost capabilities.
You have the training and the talent to succeed, but do you have the guts to fail?
I love what I do. When you love what you do, you want to be the best at it.
Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
Find your path to success through the journey of those who have succeeded. And now, your host, Dave Pamah.
Hi, welcome back to the Dave Pamah Show. And my guest today is someone who embodies the heart of what this show is all about: resilience, purpose, and using pain as fuel for greatness. Shaun Murphy, also known as Mr. Motivation, is a US Army veteran, educator, dynamic speaker, and now the author of the upcoming book, Unbreakable Valor: Triumph Through the Soul of Resilience, from growing up in Brooklyn without a father who was tragically murdered when Shaun was just 6, to becoming a national voice for youth, veterans, and communities through powerful storytelling and music. Shaun is on a mission to uplift lives and change mindsets. Shaun, welcome to the Dave Pamah Show.
Appreciate it. That's a lot, Dave.
It's a lot, isn't it? You got a lot there. That's why you got a lot there. My intro should be shorter, but then people miss, the information I need to tell them really at the beginning. So I suppose the other way around I could do it is just introduce you quickly and say, tell me about yourself. But, I think it's good to big it.
I like it.
It's good to big you up. It's better to big up the guests. Oh, I can see your little daughter. Anyone? It's all right. No worries. No worries. Yeah. My daughter pops in every now and then. So, so Brooklyn. You're from Brooklyn. I have family in Brooklyn, actually. I'm a little bit older than you. I'm 60. So the first time.
Oh, wow. What are you drinking? You look good, brother.
I'm drinking. I used to do athletics. So I was doing athletics when I was there, actually. Track and field, you call it, actually.
Yeah.
And I was doing a little bit of training on some of the concrete track stuff you had there. I went, the first time I was there was 20 years old. I stayed in Flatbush. I stayed.
Yeah. Well, I'm not too far from you. I'm from Brownsville, so Flatbush. I used to be out there as well. Yeah.
And then my other aunt lived near the Brooklyn Bridge in President Street. So.
Check.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of geography. I know New York very well, but I haven't been there for a long time because I semi-retired between the UK and Philippines, where my wife and my daughter was born, and now we're all here in the UK now. So.
Okay.
So let's get started with you. Let's less about that. So you've worn many hats: soldier, teacher, college professor, motivation speaker, and now musician. What's the common thread running through all of these chapters in your life?
Yeah, common thread. I think service driven, right? Helping others. That's been, my thing. You look at, military. I ran the census, education. Now, even through speaking and music, I found it to be an avenue or the vessel to help people. So what I do, I tell my story, and I hope that it can serve as a blueprint or roadmap for people who may have experienced similar things or in a struggle, unsure where they want to go in life. And then, my tale can help them out.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Well, of course, I had a similar route. I didn't join the military, though. I was going to join the Air Force, and then at 17 shifted. It was to go in as a firefighter, but then I wanted to join a regular fire department, which is London rather than New York, because I'm in the UK and I'm from London, so big fire department, and I got in, and that's my story. But of course, I had my ups and downs, even before that. But of course, you had a major one, obviously having a father dying at such an early age.
Yeah. I always say, I was born with 3 strikes, born in poverty, born a black dude, and then born fatherless. I used to use
Sorry, what was the second one? I didn't hear that. My audience might have heard it.
No, born in poverty, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood.
Yeah, no, I know.
Born a black dude, and then, born fatherless. Like, statistically, the math that I don't make it, And I one of the struggles I had when I went into fatherhood was just being afraid. Like, I never seen a dope dad, so how do I become a dope dad? And I always tell people I just kind of just dreamt, what do I wish I had? And I'm that, and not 10x it for my kids now.
Yeah. No, I mean that is true. I mean, I'm obviously I've struggled with a bit of parenting myself, but I had a model to go by, and I mean, we do have role models, and you're a role model yourself, aren't you?
Check. Yeah, yeah. It's funny you say that because I think, whether it's role models or leaders, we don't necessarily look at ourselves as that, but, you hear the feedback. Like I used to teach middle school, all boys, and to date, some of my guys, we went from me being the teacher to the mentor to like I'm big bro. And just those relationships have really been super cool to see mature. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, fantastic. And then, of course, you joined the military after was that soon after leaving school at 16, like most people do?
Well, so no, so my mother, that was the story she wanted. She said, "You need discipline. Go to the military." But my mom was from Barbados, so I come from a
Oh, okay,
strict
yeah, I was gonna
household.
say, yeah, my family is from St. Vincent,
Oh,
which is,
really?
and
Okay. Yeah.
I've been to Barbados lots of times. I don't know if you've been there
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's it.
Yeah.
The thing in Brooklyn, especially in the New York,
Check.
Queens and Brooklyn, the Caribbean community is actually divided in different islands. It's in the UK, it's all combined together, kind of almost.
Right, right. Yeah. So
So
Caribbean parents. So I was like, I like the military, but I wanted to experience college life. And my mom's was like, we don't have no money. How are we gonna pay for it? But my guidance counselor, Miss Hines, was like, Sean, you're a B student. I could get you into school. Fast forward, I get into SUNY Binghamton, where I did 2 years there. I can't say studied because I had a 1.7 GPA, probably 4 credits, and I ended up dropping out. I knew I couldn't go back home, so the military was where I landed. And I'll tell you, Dave, probably the best decision to date, because that changed the trajectory of my life. That's where I learned to be a man, where I learned to lead, and I met some powerful dudes that really helped me go next level. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into the army.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and was you a regular frontline soldier, or you just kind of?
So I was, so we all are, right? We
Yeah,
train to
yeah,
be grunts, but
yeah,
my specialty was a heavy construction equipment repair. So I
yeah,
worked
yeah.
on D7G bulldozers and scrapers. Hated it because I'm not I don't know nothing to do with my hands. But my
Yeah,
mother was
yeah, I
like,
know.
"You need to get a skill with your hands."
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
ended up getting into HR. So I did eight
Ah,
years
okay,
and
yeah.
got out.
So that helps with what you're doing now as well, HR really, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. No,
Dealing
that's
with
great.
people, helping people.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. But of course, yeah, it's the same. I did when I did track, I did it on a high level, international
Hmm.
level, and Olympic
Hmm.
trials. And then I had one friend who became Olympic champion as a girl, Kelly Holmes.
Check.
Who became Olympic champion, and she was in the military. So she told me, "Oh
Mm.
yeah, I've got to do guard duty this weekend, and blah blah blah. And then I've got to do a session, and then do this." And
Right.
she left in the end because she was so high up, and then of course she won, but she had a lot of injury problems. And
Right.
age 34, she won her golds, and then 35, she retired. So she lives to tell her story. But
Beautiful.
anyone has a story to tell. You don't have to be majorly. You don't have to go for that goal. But of course, I'm not
Absolutely.
stopping you because
Yeah.
I went for the goal, but I also helped people in the profession that I enjoyed in firefighting.
Check.
But yeah, I mean, all the people I know in the military, even the firefighters and the air force and everything, they have to do guard duty and everything, frontline
Hmm.
duty stuff. And if it all goes whatever,
Right. Right.
everyone has to muck in
Everybody got to know what to do. That's
times of
right.
war. Yeah. So,
Yep.
however, you didn't then become a motivational speaker, which is
Yes.
something that I intended to do and still do.
Hmm.
I do it for schools pro bono, really, but for a charity to
Check.
inspire them when they, give them direction after school, really, careers
Yeah.
days, and even elementary school, we call it primary
Hmm.
school, to
Hmm.
give them an idea, a taste. I tell my story with my
Yeah.
book, and that's pretty much what you're doing now. So how's that all going?
Yeah. No, really good. I am. I'm in middle schools, high schools, and colleges. I go in and what I do, I kind of fuse speaking, spoken word, and music into my
Mm,
presentations.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and I think it's pretty cool. I used to be a special ed teacher, so I know about, teaching
Ah,
to
okay.
different understandings, whether it's visually learning, auditory.
Ah,
So
yeah, I
I
have
bring that.
dyslexia, so
Right, right. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so
And my daughter's SEN now as well, special education needs as well.
okay,
So
check.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Check. So I bring that mindset to the stage. So I'm like, all right, you know what? This poem may touch this person. this music or the beat may get them to tap
like
in.
an
So
association thing.
yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yep. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I present now, and I love it, man. I love it. It's really living the dream. So my background, I had no background with music, other than thinking I was like on some Jay-Z stuff back in the hood.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine goes
So
way back before that, but yeah, I know what you mean.
right. So to be on the stage performing and it's just crazy. So people say, Murph, how you doing? I'm living the dream. And it's not a catchphrase. Like legitimately, I thought this thing up, put in the work, got the people I need to help me, and just now I'm
Yeah.
just living it. So it's been a beautiful journey, if you will.
Yeah, no, fantastic. That's great. Yeah. So you mentioned about music, and you are really pretty much a musician now as well, irrespective of what genre or wherever you are. If you're putting music out there, you're a musician, aren't you? Really?
You know
Spoken word. I
what?
love spoken word actually, as well as
Yeah,
rap, as well as rap, as long as it's not getting too nasty, because obviously
right.
it's a
Well,
conflict of
Dave,
interest when you're trying to inspire people.
correct, right? You're like, how does this add up?
Yeah.
But I struggle with accepting the fact that I'm a musician, having coming from not having that background. And
Yeah.
and one of the things I think another reason I wanted to expand my platform on reaching people globally, but I wanted to show my kids who's my daughter's 8, my son's 6. I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, you don't gotta be smart or talented. Focus and effort, you can do anything. Daddy don't know nothing about music, but I had this idea, I had this vision. I'm about to lock in. I'm gonna get my 10,000 hours in. I'm gonna study all the greats, and then I'm gonna go out and execute this thing at a high level. And I was performing at a show probably 2 years ago, and my daughter, she came up to me. I was like a 20-minute set, launch music fest in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and she said, "Daddy, you said you was gonna do this 3 years ago. Now you doing it. This is wild." Dave, you can't tell her she can't do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's one for the listeners. Definitely, any idea you have that you formed in your mind, it doesn't matter what you're doing now, what your circumstances. You put in the work, you commit, you're consistent. You will complete that, and I'm encourage you to chase that thing down.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, your new book is called Unbreakable Valor. I love that title, actually. So, what does Unbreakable Valor mean to you personally, and how can people listening start to build that kind of resilience in their own lives?
Yeah, well, I think Unbreakable Valor for me is that valor. It's pushing forward, not because you're not afraid. You're afraid, but because you're afraid and you still pushing forward. That courage, that intestinal fortitude, like you can't break that. And I built this book out because I found with teaching a lot of my students lack clarity. They lack their vision for their life. They lack direction. And I know what happened. I've buried probably about 15 students to date, maybe more. And so I know what happens when you lack those things. You don't have direction. You kind of living in that lawless space. Now, not all of my scholars, pass because of that, but I know where you can end up if you don't have a drive, a thing that's driving you to go next level. So this is something that can help people, even my veterans. We got veterans. I was one of them who left the military and just was struggling, unsure, no clue, broke, unemployed. And
Hmm.
it's like, well, how do you bounce back? So for me, I kind of just tell my story, one of the things I did to go from the pits to prosperity. Mindset. I changed my mindset. I went from a victim mindset, blaming others and complaining, to that creative mindset. Motivation. I had to find my why. Like, well, what's your
Hmm.
purpose? Money. I stopped chasing money. I started chasing my purpose. What is my why? What's my reasons for being here?
Hmm.
And I think about management. Who is around me? Who are the people that are around me? You are the CEO of your life. I had to own that. So now I got to create a space for people around me to help me go next level. And then massive movement is the last M in the 5M formula for success. You got to operate 10x. A lot of times we have this idea, vision, we want to do this thing, and we hit roadblocks, we get setbacks,
Hmm.
we deflated, and then you change the target. No, increase the action. You know what I'm saying? Don't
Increase the
change the
action.
target,
Yeah.
increase the action. So that's just some of the things that this book is packed with. One
Hmm.
of the other
Oh, yeah.
things I tell you
Yeah,
It's
just in case you read listening to audio, he's just showing me on YouTube. If you
oh
want to
yeah, yeah,
flick over to the YouTube channel, you'll see it.
yeah.
And it's a nice shiny cover, very nice book cover actually. I love it.
And I'll leave you with as it relates to the book, one of the chapters on anchor and faith, be anchored in faith. And then that's what you gotta be grounded in faith. It's like seeing the invisible and believing the impossible. And that's how you push through life. A lot of times we look at our current circumstance
Mm,
and we think, well, I'm here. There's no way I can get out of this. Well, first we got to change the words that we're using. I can, I am going to. And now
mm.
you start forming some you got to build some momentum, right? You got to surround yourself with people that's going to help you go next level. And then that's how the journey starts. But you got to remember, it takes time. Every overnight success takes about 10, 15 years, you
Yeah,
know?
well, that's a long
Oh, yeah.
time, isn't it? It's a
Yeah.
long time. 10 years, yeah. Well, that's how long my book's been out, about just over 10 years, actually.
Really?
No, actually, yeah, 2014 it was released, so yeah, just over 10
Okay.
years. So hopefully,
Okay.
hopefully I'm in that 10, 15 years bracket. So
It's time. It's
it's
time.
time, man. It's time, definitely. So listen, you often say, I fail, I grow, I win, which really
Mm,
speaks to turning
mm,
adversity into advantage. Can you
mhm.
take us into a moment in your life or your own life when failure actually became your biggest fuel?
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's wild. So I'll tell you a story. When I left, I was in Iraq as a contractor and I came back to the US to join, well, I applied to teach for America and I became, educator in Wilmington, Delaware. Now we got to take, like most things, profession, there's an exam. And I wasn't at the best at exam taking, but I had to take the praxis. And this is the first time in my life, I was one of them shortcut guys in school. So this is the first time in my life I gotta like study. It's a 120 question exam, and you have 120 minutes. And they'll ask you things like, friends, Roman countrymen, lend me your ear. What is this an excerpt from? Well, if I haven't read Shakespeare, let alone any of these books, these literary books, and know these terms, I'm gonna be struggling. That's where I found myself. And Dave, I took this test more times than I want to recall because we had a paper exam as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just was unsuccessful. And you could get to the point where you say, you know what, whatever. But I really like education was my thing. So I uh I kept pushing and then eventually I found opportunity to do my master's because this was stopping me from getting my master's. But then I
Ah,
was able to
okay.
do right. So I needed this test. So I met with the advisors and then fast forward, I paused the idea of being in education. I meet a guy at a networking event. Shouts out to networking events. That's where the magic happens. Dr. Ski, he is the president of Harrisburg Area Community College. So me and Dr. Ski, we had this networking event. We breaking bread. Cool dude. So now I'm meeting with Dr. Ski probably quarterly for coffee chat. And he's like, Shaun, your story is dope. We need you in the classroom. I'm like, hey, how? He said, well, you need your master's. And then I said, sheesh, this is masters again. So I tapped back in with my leadership at Wilmington U, and we found a course that I could get a non-teaching master's, which will allow me to teach education, and I have to do the requirements for K through 12. So now I'm commuting almost 2 hours to go do these classes, the coursework, in order to get my degree, which I did. And I graduated with my master's. Then I called Dr. Ski and he said, all right, got you. And that next semester, I was teaching a course on how to be successful in college. And I've done that for 5 years now.
Yeah, wow.
So, yeah, so I break that down for the listeners and viewers. I fail, right? You go through failure, you hit the roadblocks, the setbacks, and then what happens is if you fail one, two, three, four times, now you have three, four, five data points on what doesn't work. So it's almost like a mirror showing you what to improve on, and that's how you grow. And after you grow, you implement the steps and strategies and the systems that you learn from your failure, and ultimately you win.
Fantastic. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great way to to put it all in one speech, if you like.
Yeah.
So everyone was in for a treat there because they got a little motivational speech there about your own personal experience. Now you turn that from, well, I suppose the saying is lemon into lemonade or something like that.
Yeah, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, baby.
So before we go, where can I find your book and more about your work you do?
Yeah, www.mr-motivation.com. I'm on Instagram at Mr. Motivation, MISTER. The O's are zeros for zero excuses. Tap in with me. I have the Breakthrough Bunker. That's a free community where I just connect with people who looking to go next level, looking for guidance, direction. We can tap in there. Free community. Spotify. I do my music, Mr. Motivation.
Oh yeah.
Spotify, Mr. Motivation. I just dropped a song, Dave, Letter to Dad. That's for Father's Day. So that's cool. Tap in. And for the ladies, I just did For the Love of Woman. That's on I dropped that on Mother's Day. So that's out as well. And coming up, I just got some graduation. I got a keynote at Brooklyn Law and Tech here in 2 weeks. So I'm about to go shake the stage, but we'll love to tap in. Anywhere I could be a resource, tap in. I'm definitely here.
Yeah, definitely. Great. Well, Shaun, your story is living proof that the past doesn't define us. It prepares us. So from combat boots to classrooms and now the stage, your journey is a reminder that resilience isn't about never failing. It's about rising every single time. So I can't wait for the world to read Unbreakable Valor and hear your new music. So
yes.
Keep leading with your heart, brother. And thank you for sharing your truth with us today.
Appreciate it, Dave.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening. And remember, if you want to support what we do, then share, subscribe, and leave a review over on Apple Podcasts. Or head over to my website, davepalmer.com, and click on Rate Show. Well, that's all for now, but I'll see you in the next episode of The Dave Pamah Show.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.